What's going on, guys? This is Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Today, I am joined by Becca Evans, who won her debut at Triton Fights down in Florida this past weekend. Becca, how are you?
Good. I'm doing awesome. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, and congrats on your pro debut victory. How does it feel to get that first win?
It honestly, it felt surreal. It was a pretty long fight camp. We got matched up just before Christmas. So going into it, it was time, and to be able to get a submission victory was awesome. That was my first submission in MMA. So it just kind of put the cherry on top for that.
Now, how was it? I know you had to travel. You're from Delaware. You traveled down to Florida for this. How was the traveling with the COVID and everything else going on? How did that play a role into your game plan and your leading up to your fight?
So like you said, we're traveling from Delaware down to Tampa, which if you drove straight through is about 15 hours, which is what we actually did. We rented a van. There was 4 of us, including myself, going down. So we basically just took shifts driving down. We hit a couple of the Harley Davidson dealerships going down. My coach is a Harley guy.
Awesome.
He collects each dealership has a poker chip. So while we were going down, he was finding, ones 5-10 minutes off the trip, and we were hitting those as we went down. We did the same thing going down there and coming back up. So added a little bit of time, but not too much. So we rented a van just because we knew we take a lot of gear down. We always overpack, making sure that we had everything that we need, just in case. So we knew flying was really kind of out of the question, and we didn't really want to get on a plane given COVID and stuff like that. So we decided to drive down instead. And we, like I said, we drove straight down. We made a couple of little stops here and there. As far as training went, most of the training that we do, nothing really changed too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is a lot of places aren't doing a lot of open mats and things like that where I could get in with a lot of different people. But otherwise it was more or less the same. Training partners were a little bit more limited, kind of keeping everything in that kind of like pod or bubble sort of training system, just so, we're not bringing too many new people in and stuff like that. But otherwise, training camp went normal. It was, like I said, it was about a 12-week fight camp. Obviously, we intensified it last 6 weeks to give it that true 6-week fight camp feel.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it went normal, and I think it really played in our hand very well, just to really sharpen up my skills and keep what I've been doing well with keeping that, and then adding some new stuff on. I was able to show off a little bit more of my grappling and my wrestling than I normally get to do.
Awesome. Was that part of the game plan to use your grappling and wrestling, or was that something you just decided to do because you felt comfortable at that moment?
Yes, but not to the same extent that I did. Ideally, I would have liked to have done a little bit more striking and shown off some of the things I've been working on striking wise. But I'm just as comfortable in the clinch or wrestling. So I ended up playing that side a little bit more, just given how my opponent reacted. So we took to more of the wrestling and the clinching from there.
Now, how does it feel for you to get a win over an opponent, like Dianna Karava? Because she's very highly touted and expected to be a pretty good talent in the years coming. And here you come in and submit her. How does it feel? Give you confidence, and how do you feel after that?
To me, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. I'm gonna train my butt off. We're gonna do everything that we need to do to get ready for that opponent. I was excited because she had a lot more experience, basically double my experience given her amateur and her pro career at that point. So it gave me something. It made me motivated to make sure that I was at the level that I needed to be at, to match someone that had a bit more experience in cage time than I did, and to be able to go out there and show off what I was able to do. I know that she's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so being able to grapple and be able to test my skills against someone higher ranking than myself, it felt great. But and looking at opponents, there's no love, no hate there. It's not emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We just go and we train how we need to train and go out and get it done. It's business for us.
Absolutely. And, what was it like the whole experience being on the Triton Fights card? It's the promotion's first professional slash amateur fight card in New York that was never legal until now. It's actually become just legal. How was the whole experience, the whole production? They usually do a very phenomenal job of putting everything together. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean everything went very smoothly. Weigh-ins were very well run. Florida Boxing Commission was really easy to work with. A lot of their stuff is done online, so your medicals,
Hmm.
all that stuff got taken ahead of time. So it made going into weigh-ins, you did your pre-fight physical a lot smoother than some of the other states that I've been with. As far as Triton, they made sure that like they did it big, like they did a really good job with the production of everything. It really made it feel like you were a star of the show. And then the day of the fight, same thing. Like Florida Boxing Commission, very well run. They're very old school as far as like they had to have a commissioner watching you wrap your hands. Where I've been with other
Okay.
states where, oh, you have your hands wrapped, cool. Let me just sign off on. Like they hardly look at it. So it was. I always appreciate a good commission like that. And everyone with that commission was very professional. Everyone at Triton's was very professional as well. Making sure we had ice, water, towels, whatever we needed to get ready. As far as us getting ready, we were the second fight of the night, so it was okay. Quick warm up. All right, you guys are on deck. So not a whole lot of time backstage. Um, but again, like they had all the lights and everything, and I know they just released their I guess it's like their highlight reel that's going to be coming out soon. They showed a snippet of that, and it looks like it's pretty cool.
Awesome. What's next for you? You got this big victory. Have you tried to book something with another promotion? You looking to get back on Triton Fights card in New York? What's your game plan for the future for you?
At least for the immediate future, I'm getting ready to do a grappling match at the end of May. It's to raise money to for a domestic violence prevention. It's going to
Okay.
be an all-female card. That's happening at the end of May in the Pennsylvania area. So that one's going to be a little bit more local. So I'm excited to do that to continue grappling, keep something on the horizon as far as just keeping myself active, and then I'm hoping to find something probably about July or August to get back into the cage. Ideally, I'd like to fight at least twice more this year. Whoever comes up with an opponent, that's I'm willing to. Obviously, I'm willing to travel. Travel's not an issue for me.
Awesome.
I want to fight, so wherever that fight is, I'll go and I'll figure out a way to get there.
Awesome, awesome. And it sounds like you said, you're willing to travel anywhere. You're willing to get into. You want to fight two more times at least this year. Um, your goals within the sport? You just turned pro. What are your short term goals, long term goals, and your aspirations for the sport?
I mean, as far as short term, I want to be more active. If you look at my amateur career, there's a lot of 9 month gaps and year gaps and things like that. I had a lot of time between fights. That was not because I didn't want to fight. A lot of fights fell through in the meantime, unfortunately. So with my pro career, I'd like to be more active, at least fighting 3 or 4 times a year. I want to be competitive, and
Hmm.
I don't want to rush, building myself up or anything like that. I want to take the time and really develop my skills and get things sharp. And wherever that leads me, if, to bigger promotions and things like that, if it's the UFC or One or Bellator, awesome. But I want to go wherever there's competition. I see myself as someone who's competitive, and I want to do what's right by my team, my coaches, and everyone with me. So I want to go where the fights are, wherever they're competitive.
Well, if you don't, what weight class did you fight Diana at?
That was at featherweight, which I came in
Okay.
4 pounds light for. That's not my that's not my usual weight class.
Okay.
I'm weight, so I definitely want to go back down to bantamweight. That's
Oh,
where I'm a bit more
okay.
comfortable. But bantamweight, featherweight, wherever's going to get me fights. But ideally, 135 is my home.
Is 135 a tough cut for you, or is that just like you're coming in as an okay cut, nothing too drastic, nothing too easy, but just kind of
No, I
perfect?
mean bantamweight's never been an issue with me. I mean, I don't cut a lot of water weight. That's never been my style. It's always been having a good diet and a good strength and
Hmm.
conditioning program. We're at max maybe 5 pounds in water, which I know is a lot lighter than a lot of other fighters. So, I mean, with
Hmm.
this featherweight fight, I weighed in about 4 pounds light. and that wasn't cutting water. That was just pure diet. So for me, bantamweight's where it's at, but I really can't go much lower than that.
Awesome. What was the difference from being an amateur to a professional that you've made that made that leap and made you successful in your first fight?
I mean, ultimately, there wasn't a huge change. My last two amateur fights were down in Virginia, where the rule set is essentially pro rules, but at 3 minutes. So
Okay.
really, the biggest change was adding those extra 2 minutes on for the 5 minute rounds. Obviously, the competition is going to be a lot different, going forward. But we've always conducted ourselves as professionals. I've always tried to make my training as competitive and as intense as possible to make sure that I'm ready for whatever the next step is. So I don't think we really changed too much. Why fix what something that's not broken. So game planning was a little bit more detailed. We had a little bit more work with that. I think making sure taking from a simple amateur game plan, getting a little bit more technical with that aspect. But overall, we didn't really change too much. And I think that's made me successful as an amateur, and what's making me more successful as a professional now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, is there someone that inspires you every day to get in the gym, train, to get in the cage and compete at a high level? What is it that inspires you? Is it a person? Is it a family, or like your support system, or is it something outside of that?
It's definitely my support system. I also teach at the gym that I train out of, so I dub them my karate kids. They're a huge inspiration to me, and I know I'm a role model to them. They look up to me and they see what Miss Becca does. Why she's hungry all the time, or why she's maybe a little bit more tired or cranky today when she's doing a fight camp. And we teach kids from 3, 4 years old and up. So I get a lot of variety with the kids. The kids mean the absolute world to me, and it's very easy there's a lot of reasons about what my why is, but they're easily the easiest one to point to and go, it's them. To be their role model, to show them what they can do, what they can take from martial arts, and start turning it into a career. And I think that's really important, especially because we've seen a lot more young ladies come into our gym in the past few years, and it's nice to be able to give them someone to look up to. Because we had a young lady a few years ago who, she was struggling with really wanting to continue, and we asked her why. She's like, because only boys are black belts,
Oh
and
wow.
we can show her like, no, we have I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. Like, there's now I have two other young ladies that are also black belts in Taekwondo, and it's great to be able to show some of our younger kids that they can do that as well.
That's awesome that you're inspiring the younger generation to get in there and train and participate, whether it's they want to fight or not. Just training is huge in general for health and just mental health as well. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome. What's I always ask people usually in fight interviews right before they fight, but we didn't get to speak beforehand. What is one thing about you that nobody knows but you would like to share with everyone?
I don't know.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be MMA involved. I've had a black belt that didn't know how to ride a bike. Someone's afraid of sponges. There's a wide variety of different and interesting things that people don't share, but decided to share.
I don't. I don't know. I mean, my life literally revolves. I was talking about this with my friend yesterday. That as far as people will ask, what are your hobbies? I'm like, fighting, things that help my fighting. That's actually a really tough question. I don't know.
Do you have
I
like a
have a
food or
little
something that you eat right before
dog.
fight?
What's
I'm
that?
sorry. What was that? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I have a little dog that I call my coach, but I mean I post about her all the time on social media.
Gotcha. Awesome. I was asking, do you have like a food or something you eat right before fight? A routine you do, something like that, right before you fight?
I mean, before the fight, I mean, I keep everything the same. The last thing I want to do is, eat something that I haven't eaten in 12 weeks, and
Oh,
that
I'm
not.
sorry. Not before a fight, but after a fight.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
after. Oh, yeah. The one thing I was really craving this time was a milkshake, which I'm hoping to get
Okay.
tonight when I go out with my friends. We're actually doing. Okay, here's a fun fact. I actually, as much as I do meal prep, I just got an air fryer, and I'm really excited to use it more so than probably any adult should be. But we're actually going on a grocery store adventure to 3 different grocery stores to pick out random things to air fry for tomorrow for Easter.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
like
you're gonna have to let me know what you fry.
I'm probably gonna spend a ridiculous amount on food. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was really craving a milkshake. Immediately after the fight, I did eat. Oh, I shared some, but ate basically the entire container of Girl Scout cookies watching the rest of the fights.
Ooh, what flavor?
French toast. It was a new one.
That I've had that one. That's actually really good.
It was good. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as
Yep.
as it was. Obviously, I enjoyed it because I ate the entire container. Again, I shared some, but
Absolutely.
majority
My
was
favorite's the tag-alongs, but
yeah.
those are good. The s'more ones are good. That's awesome.
Depending
Um,
what stores one you get, they're different from state to state.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay, interesting.
Girl Scout cookie connoisseur. That's what there's my fun.
Good to know. All right. So I'm usually ordering them from my cousin's kids and stuff. So awesome. Good to know. So now you're fighting. You said you're going to compete in this grappling event. Let us know how people could donate if they want to donate, and where it's taking place. Your grappling charity event.
Yeah, it's taking place at Vault BJJ. It's in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Um, it's on, I believe it's May 23rd. Hopefully, I'm not screwing that one up. But one of the ways I'm going to be doing, everyone can donate obviously towards that. I'm going to try to be getting with my t-shirt sponsor, MMA Company. I'm looking to hopefully create a semi new design for one of my tank tops, and then all my commission from that will be going towards that as well. So please stay tuned for that. If anyone's interested in buying a t-shirt, hopefully I'll be able to organize that one soon to raise some money for that event as well.
Awesome, awesome. And people can follow you on Instagram at giraffe_MMA. Is that correct?
That is correct. Some people pronounce it giraffe Mima, but whichever. I have some kids that thought it was Mima instead of MMA. So
Awesome. All
giraffe
right.
MMA, giraffe Mima. I go by both.
Is Giraffe your nickname? Is that where's that come from?
So that comes from my friend Heather, and she's actually sitting outside the door right now. We were grappling in class a few years ago, and she is significantly shorter than me. And we were working on, I think, knee bars, and she kept commenting on my giraffe legs and how long it was. My coach liked it because he's like, "Yeah, you're tall and awkward like a baby giraffe." So tall and awkward's my thing, and so we kept it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it came in handy against your opponent at Triton Fights where you got the submission victory. So congratulations on that. We're looking forward to seeing you get back in the cage and fight once again. Please keep us updated when you do schedule your next fight. But Becca, congratulations on your victory, and hope to see you fight again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And this is the Carroll's Corner MMA podcast, and we're signing off with Becca Evans.